Hello everybody, this is Roll with Winter Bros, and in this video demonstration we're going to show you how to break down the awesomely created Medieval Hovel by TruForm, which is available free on Renderosity, into its individual components so that if you want to reuse them with some of the other TruForm environments or even other scenes and other items when you're creating your digital artwork. So let's get started. Of course, the first thing you're going to need is the Medieval Hovel by TruForm. And it's available here at Renderosity on the free stuff. Here's some pictures of it so you can see some of the renders. It is it's an environment for Daz Studio. It's also available for you see down, it's available for Proposer. You can use a Proposer. It's got an object. Files are included too. But we're just going to cover the Daz Studio version because that's what we're going to be breaking down. And all this stuff here, we're going to go right into Daz Studio and we'll show it to you. But we'll put this link here at the bottom so you'll have it when you are ready to do that. So here we are in Daz Studio 4.12 Pro. You can see we've already loaded the Medieval Hovel. When you install it in Daz Studio, it'll come up under My Daz Studio Formats, My Daz 3D Library, Environments, then, Environments, and then you'll scroll down to TruForm. Excuse me, TruStyles, I apologize. TruForm is the artist company. TruStyles, and then of course it'll show up right there. You've got the pre-lit and then the regular, and we just loaded the second one here, the Medieval Hovel. And the first thing you'll want to do is, of course, all these are copyright material for TruForm. So you'll want to you can make a props folder under the props directory, which let's see if we can see the props directory. That's below environments. So here, or you can just keep them with the Medieval Hovel by keeping them inside the environments folder that they had created for TruStyles, and that's what we did for this demo. So you can see here we've created a folder called Medieval Hovel Props, and you can see we've already converted 4 of them. Just to give you a show of what it's like. So what we'll do real quick, let's see if we can, I don't want to delete that. Well, when we go through the demonstration, you'll see. We're going to, we'll save new ones. These 4 we did already. You can see it's nice. You got a barrel, the candle, the outside plant, and the paper. But there are so many things inside this that you're going to just be amazed. Now, you don't have to convert them all. You convert just what you think you need, or you can convert them all so you can come back and get them quickly in reference once you get the technique down so you'll know what you're doing. Get them all done. It might take you, I would say you could probably get it all done in about a couple hours, but then you have all those props available for all your other artwork. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and just hide this a little bit so we get a better view. We'll turn off the aspect view here so that we can aspect frame, so we can get a better view. So we can scroll into the house to see all the stuff, but we'll just go ahead and click this wall right here, and when it pops up, yes, there it is. We'll just go ahead and turn it off so we can see inside, and then we'll click this wall, and then we'll turn it off so you can see all the stuff that's inside there. Now there's stuff upstairs on the first floor and in the attic, but we're just going to focus right now down here on the bottom. If you just take a quick peek, you can see how much stuff is in there. Let's go ahead and hide the door. There you go. Look at all that stuff. Now there's a shelf here, but on that shelf there's a lot of things too. If we're going to have to eventually get closer, but well, we can just zoom in there. So there you go. So there is a lot of stuff. So if you just look around the room, it looks like a scroll maybe. Oh, it's a canister hanging. But this room is this whole environment is just loaded with stuff. I mean, there is all kinds of stuff on the table here. There's a bed over there. There's a sack. There's barrels. I mean, there's hanging a candelabra up there. I mean, you won't believe. Let's go ahead. Here, we'll click this wall here real quick and hide it so we can see a little more. Scroll in. And, oh, there's all these pots and pans on the rack. I'm just saying, it's just amazing what what TruForm is giving out for free. Let me scroll up a little bit. So, since we've already done a few things, what we're going to do here is we're going to, let's move this over a bit. Okay, hang on a second. So we'll just start here with this bowl of it's got fruit in it. It looks like maybe peaches or apples. So like we said, we already had a folder created, but just so you can, in case you don't know what you're doing here, if you're new to all this, when you get to this True Styles, let's say here you're with a Medieval Hovel, you'll right-click on this and you'll put Create Subfolder. And when you do, it'll create a folder underneath here for you. And of course, we use this name. You could just call it Props. But since this is True Style, is not saying any, it's not specific to the Medieval Hovel, so other things they might, environments they might create might come up in here. So we want to name our folder Medieval Hovel Props so that we'll know they came from this one item. Because you might have a balcony or other items, environments you purchase from True Styles. They got a lot of free stuff too, which we might go over in other videos. So just make your own folder and call it Medieval Hovel Props. And so we're going to start with this fruit bowl here. So we'll narrow this down a little bit so we get a better view here. Hang on. Sorry about that. I think that's what we're going to get. So let's go scroll over. So we'll just start with this this fruit bowl, which we'd already selected once. You can see it came up in the Scene tab. Now, the first thing you want to do, we're going to show you the quickest, easiest way to do this. It's a two-step process. We're going to save it once, reload it, and save it again. But we'll show you how that works. So we clicked it here. So it's up here. And now we want to use basically the same name that they used before. They have a B on the end. Probably I think there's another fruit bowl in here with the apples or something. But since we selected this one, we'll go ahead and use it. And if you installed the Medieval Hovel into Daz Studio proper, all these textures are already in the runtime folder where they belong. So when you save these props, you'll have everything you need to use them. So the first thing we'll do is we've got it selected. So then we'll go up here to File, Save As, Support Asset, Figure Prop Assets is what we're going to do because we're going to be making a prop. So then it's going to pop up. Now, you're going to have to browse probably to the folder you created. Here you can see we're already in the folder we did create earlier. That's because we'd saved those 4 previous versions. So, and you can see we used the same names they used in the Scene tab over here. So we're going to make this one call. This is the MVH, which is Medieval Hovel. And then, of course, we're going to keep the same case, uppercase, lowercase. And they call this one Fruit Bowl B, and we might call it that too, because if we did the other one too, there'd be a Fruit Bowl A, obviously. So in this case, we'll just do that. When we did our barrels earlier, there was barrels 1 through 6, but we just called it MVH barrel up there. You can see it up here in the folder, and that was because all the barrels were identical. So, but the fruit bowls were different, so we'll just go ahead and use the B as the suffix on this one. So once you do that, we'll go Save. Now it's going to pop up and it's going to automatically put it in your asset directory. So the first thing here is you're going to change your vendor name to, we're using TruForm, which you should do because that's the people that created it. The product name here, we go ahead and made that the name of the whole product environment. Oops, I spelled that wrong, sorry. Medieval Hovel with a space in there. And of course the item name came up automatically, which we typed in the save. So you're going to go ahead and set this content type, and then you'll do this drop box. Now, sometimes it's hard to get to the prop, so what we want you to do is double click the word prop, just like that. If it goes away, just click down again until you finally get it. You can go ahead and leave it compressed, leave all the default settings here for the definitions, and then click accept. And you'll see it pop up over here. Now, as you can see, it takes the image, whatever's in the viewport is what it takes for that item. And that's what we're going to show you on the second save, how to fix that, and a couple other quick things. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get a couple more other things so that we can have a couple examples here. It looks like a little flower pot back there. So we'll click it, and then we'll focus on it. There it is. And if we look, it's not just the flowers, it's not just the vase, they're all together. You can see they're all selected when I kind of hover over it. So we'll do that, and this is the inside plant. We'll go ahead and save that one. It's the same exact technique. Save as, file save as, support asset, figure prop assets. We're still in our folder. Of course, we're going to use that name again. Now you could have copied over here in this, but we're just going to manually type it. Whatever's easier for you. So this one's called I misspelled inside plant, looks like. We'll go fix that real quick. So we'll save that one as inside plant. Here, of course, we want to save this again as the vendor name TruForm, and that's because in the data folder it's going to put these all together. So you could leave it as your own if you want, but if you ever wanted to save them into a zip so that you could reinstall them later on maybe a second machine if you have it or whatever. So that's why we recommend go ahead and doing it this way. And you could put these in a notepad or something and copy and paste them every time so you don't have to type them. Of course, we're going to change it back to a prop, or not back to a prop, change it to the prop setting for the metadata, and we'll hit accept again, and then of course you'll see the flowers pop up over here. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can find something else really cool to work on here. Well, there's some dishes. Oh, let's see what this is. There's fruit. Is there another bowl of fruit? There's that. Oh, there's that fruit bowl. It's this one right here. This one with the apples. But let's go ahead and get some dishes. Let's get that little plate bowl that he's got set up there, and we'll bring the focus to it, and we'll go ahead and save that. We'll do that really quick. It shouldn't take too long. MVH plate bowl, and we're following his capitalization and lowercase whatever he's used in the scene tab so they match. Make this really quick. We'll go fast through this so we can. Hopefully we don't mistype. And let's find us one more item. Let's get something else really cool here. Look around the room, see what we got. I like that. We like these scrolls. Let me get up here and click on these scrolls and get a focus over there. Actually, we're going to, we like the book, so let's go ahead and focus on the book. We'll just go ahead and get that book there. And you can do this for any item that you can select in the scene individually. So, you know, we just want to have a few 4 items that we can play with. So there's the book. So we'll go ahead and do File, Save As. And this will be the last one. Then we show you how to fine-tune everything so that you can get this just right. This is book number 1. Oops, book 1. I don't want too many K's. There we go. Book 1. All right. So, like I said, we think once you get this technique down, you could do this pretty quickly for the whole environment. And of course, this typing thing might be easier. You can use these drop boxes over here, and sometimes you might be able to find them. But see, oh, there it is. We found it there. But like when you do the one for the vendor name, if you've done a lot of stuff, it'll come up like this. It's just a lot of stuff, so it's easier just to type it for the vendor name. Just type TruForm in there. Like I said, if you do once you do the product one time, you might have it in this drop box. So you don't have to type it every time, which would be cool. We'll go ahead and make this a prop. Save it. Well, there you go. We got 4 items already in there. So, and you can see the 4 because they got the scene kind of around them instead of being individual items. So we're going to go ahead and go to create a new scene. We'll say don't save any changes because we hit all them walls and stuff. So there's 2 things we're going to do now. We'll start up here with the book. We'll just go ahead and see we got a new scene over here. So we'll go ahead and load the book. And we will focus on the book. But if you look, the book was saved in space where it was located within that environment. So the 2 things you want to do is we want to reposition this to the center plane, because then when you load it for some other use, you don't know, where you want it. You may not want it right there. You may not be able to find it if it loads out away from the viewport somewhere you weren't expecting. So once we loaded the book, the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and go up here to Edit, Object, go down here to Restore to selected item, and that'll put it where it belongs in the middle of the scene. You can see the X and the Z axes on the floor there, and then we'll refocus on it. Now, of course, we're going to turn on our aspect frame again, because what you see in the viewport is what the icon's going to look at. So we're going to rotate this around and get the view we like for the book, so that when it makes its icon over there, here you go, everything's inside the aspect frame. We'll center it a little more. Okay, now since we've already saved this will be a lot easier this time. So we'll just go ahead and click File, Save As, Support Asset Prop. Now we're going to reuse it right over the book one that we previously saved with this new version, because now it's centered in the scene, or in the world, excuse me, and also it's going to have a new thumbnail. It's going to ask us if we want to replace it. Yes, of course we do. You can see it's already got all this filled out, so this is the easiest step of all. Just go ahead and click Accept, and you can see up here our icon now has changed to the MVH book. So you want to repeat it once you go through and get all of your items extracted, then you can go back after that and go through each one individually and get them all corrected. We're just going to go ahead and go through all these really quick just because it's now you won't want to focus on it until once you reset it, or you could focus on it and then refocus on it, but that's okay. And don't forget Object, Restore select item, brings it back to center. Then we'll focus on it and we'll get the view we want for our thumbnail. We'll zoom in a little bit so we can see it. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and resave it. Like I said, this is nice because then you can, there it is, Fruit You can use these in other stuff that you other artwork you're working on, other projects. And if you keep them here and you do it in this fashion, it's still true to the original artist, which is TruForm under the True Styles directory here, so that they, you remember who it was or whatever. So don't forget when you go to do the resetting stuff for the object guest, select the first in the seam tab. I'm not sure if we mentioned that. I'm pretty sure we did, but you never know. Or we might have just showed it so fast you didn't catch it. And we'll zoom in here, get these flowers where we like them. Make sure these grass blades are inside the thumbnail. And we'll save that as another, resave it I should say. We're going to save it over itself. That was the inside plant, that one there. Like I said, you're going to do this, and then once you've done this, you can reuse these over and over and over again in all your stuff. So we're almost there. We'll go ahead and do this last one really quick. Sorry it's taking so long. We just wanted to make sure you've seen some really good demonstrations here. Object Restore, up selected items. We'll get our focus on it. There's that nice looking bowl. We'll bring it in a little more. And the reason for that is you want to maybe see it better in the yeah, it looks more like a okay. If we go like this, we're not sure if the thumbnails show it much as the bowl, so we're going to get a little bit of definition here like that. And bring it over. And you can always do it again if you don't like it. And you can render these at 91 by 91, but it's a lot easier if you just go ahead and get in the scene tab the way you want it to look before you save over it the second time. That was plate bowl. And go ahead and do accept. And you see how quickly we just did 4 items to add to our other 4. So we do highly recommend that when you have the Medieval Hovel loaded, that you go ahead and just extract all the pieces in there that you might possibly use. Of course, that's going to give you a lot of props. I mean, just by looking at the Medieval Hovel, it looked like there was quite literally, I'd say you might pull out at least 100 items, and very high quality, nice textures and stuff. And you can reuse them just as they are. If you want, you can create your own texture sets. We hope you enjoyed this video presentation. Please think about visiting our website, www.winterbros.com. See kind of other items we have to offer. Many free things in our freezer, and we have a lot of some other products for sale. Have a great day.